Welcome to the House of Odds, the home of prediction markets. Today we're going to be betting $1,000 in a random section on Polymarket, and it's actually going to be finance. So a lot of things have been happening in the world. We got stocks going up, AI is booming like crazy, and because of that we're going to be betting on finance. We're going to check out some interesting ones. We're going to show you some information by doing some research and actually giving our thought on what we think is going to happen. So we got $1,000 on Polymarket. Time to start betting. So, like I said, we've got $1,000 on Polymarket, and let's see what interesting things are happening. Now, the finance section are most likely about earning predictions. For example, what will Palantir hit in February? What's going to be the biggest company? What price will silver or gold hit? Will CEOs be removed? And a bit more like that. So one very interesting thing is the gold price. Now, let me show you the gold price as of this moment. The question here is, what will gold hit by the end of February? Per ounce, that is. So gold has been having a crazy run lately. It's been going up. I mean, it went from 4.2K on the 6th of January to 5.6K a couple weeks later. And I've actually been having a crazy dump for the past 2 days, back towards 4.4K. Now, it's been climbing back again to 4.9. And the question here is, what is it going to be hitting? Now, I think 5.5K is going to be too much, because then it would mean it has to come back to all-time high, which I don't see happening soon. So I think the next best option would be 4.6K. So I'm actually going to be betting on this one with a 53% odd, 55.9 market order, because there's not that much liquidity in this bet yet. So we're actually going to go big on this one, because I feel like this is a more safe one. So we're going to go 300 on this one. I'm going to go confirm bet. There we go. Now, let's see another interesting one. It's the largest company end of February. I think that's an interesting one as well. NVIDIA has been having a crazy run for the past year, mainly because of AI and all the chips and all the graphics that has been needed for AI. However, what I'm seeing is that Alphabet has been doing quite well as well. It went from 10% on February 2nd, which was yesterday, towards 14%. As of today, actually. Alphabet has had their recent earnings and they've been doing quite well. So I'm going to be betting a smaller bet on Alphabet, because I feel like this is going to be a bigger one next week. I'm not saying we're going to win this bet, but I'm saying this one will probably pump towards next week when we're closing the bet again. So we're going to go for 100 for this one. There we go. Let's have a look at some other interesting ones. Here we go. This is a fun one. The Logan Paul first edition Charizard sale. Oh, and I actually see another one which is a lot more interesting. So as you may know, Logan Paul has a very rare Pikachu card that is currently up for sale. It's currently up for bidding. So this is his very rare one-of-one Pokemon card that we're talking about here. And the question is, what is it going to be worth, or what is it going to sell for? Now, as you can see, it's currently at 6.3 million with buyer's premium, 5.1 million without. However, if you look at the bidding history, whenever the bid came online on the 6th of January, it's been having a crazy bidding amount. But it stopped on January 15th, so the hype seems to be a bit over. So I feel like if we're looking at these prices, 5 million is probably going to hit either way, because it's been having this bid already. 6 million, most likely, because with buyer's premium, it's already past 6 million. But the question here is, will it hit 7 million? Now, if I look at the numbers right now, the hype seems to be a bit over. So I'm actually going to do a lower bet and say, okay, it's not going to hit 7 million, because in 12 days, this bid is going to end. And at that point, it needs to be finalized. So I'm going to do a $100 on the no. Once again, I'm not saying that this is going to be a bet that we're going to win. But if these odds are going to get better as we go, we might sell that one next week. So that was an interesting one. Let's see. How many Fed rate cuts have been happening or are going to happen in 2026? Something that's interesting is Kevin Warsh. He is going to be the new Fed chair for Trump actually chose this guy as the new Fed chair. Now, we all thought it was going to be Rick Reeder, who was someone that was going to say, okay, we're going to do a lot of rate cuts. This guy seems to be a bit more secure and a bit more safe, and he's probably saying, okay, we're not going to do that many rate cuts, but perhaps a few. So I'm going to do a smaller bet on the 2 rate cuts, mainly because I feel like the 1 rate cut is too low of a chance, whereas the 2 is still a very good bet and a risky one, but not too risky that it's not worth it anymore. So we're going to go for 150 on this one. And maybe a bit more safe, where we're going to also say, okay, we're not going to bet on the 3 rate cuts this year. So we're doing a bit smaller one. Let's actually go for 150 as well. There we go. Let's see, what other ones do we have? Some interesting. This one is actually quite interesting. Coinbase up or down on February 3rd. So at the moment of recording, this is February 3rd. So as you can see, in 6 hours, this is going to end up yes or no. It's a bit of a YOLO bet like this because of the very small chances or very slim and volatile markets that we're in. But I feel like it is going to be up. So we got $200 left. Let's actually go for 100 as a more safe bet for this one. Simply because I feel like the crypto stocks are in a hype at the moment with all the IPOs that are happening, AI booming. I feel like this one is probably going to go up. And let's see if we got another one to wrap this one up. Here we go. Which companies will be acquired before 2027? So as you may know, companies can be taken over whenever a competitor or a bigger competitor is doing well. And one I find very interesting is the Anthropic as well as Nebius Group. So what actually, let me look it up. Nebius Group, they are the ones that are providing an infrastructure layer for AI. Now, why is this important? As you may know, AI is booming. Everyone is talking about AI. So what I feel like we're going to need is the infrastructure and actually the layer behind AI to be sure and to be able to use AI. And that's exactly what Nebius is doing. So I feel like they might be bought up by another big AI company. And the same goes for Anthropic. Anthropic is the one behind Claude AI, which has been having a very massive run. And I feel like that one might be bought up as well. So what we're going to do is, Nebius Group, we got $100 left. I'm actually going to do 75 on this one. And to wrap it up, we're going to do 25 on Anthropic as well. We got $26 left, so we're going to go for $26. There we go. Okay, and let me check. Polymarket needs to update a bit, but that is it for this week. So we now invested $1,000. Once Polymarket has been updated, we're going to be able to see that. And let's see what we are going to get this week. Hopefully, we got some good bets coming in, and hopefully next week we're finally going to make some profit again. So stay tuned, and catch you guys in a week.
1 week later.
All right, and welcome back. It's been a week since we opened our bets, and we're going to check out what the result actually is. So for this week, we started with $1,000 as usual, and right now we are at 612. So we're down nearly $400 once again. We have closed one bet. The Coinbase one, where we said, is Coinbase going to be up or down on February 3rd? The moment we bet, it actually had a 68% chance when we bet the upside. However, we missed this one and it actually went down that day. So we lost that bet. Apart from the other ones, will the Fed have 2 rate cuts happening in 2026? We're actually in the plus right now. So we bet it at 24 and it's now at 28 cents. The 3 rate cuts is actually going up as well, possibly because we also bet on the second one or 2 rate cuts happening. If the odds of that increase, and obviously the third one increases as well. We said, will gold hit a low 4,600 by end of February? So the last time we recorded, we had the dump happening, and now about a week later, we have had our pump happening again. So the odds of this one is actually going down drastically, and we've lost over nearly $200 on this one. Will Logan Paul's PSA Pokemon card actually sell for, what was it, 7 million? I think we bet on. Yes. Hasn't really changed. We bet it at 15 cents. It is now at 15 cents still. Nebius Group we acquired. We had it at 38 cents. Now it's at 26 cents. So possibly some rumors have been happening on Nebius not being acquired. So we lost some money there as well. The same goes for Anthropic. Will it be acquired? We bet it at 17 cents. Now at 13. And then finally, will Alphabet be the largest company in the world by the end of February? Fun fact, I actually had a look in between and Alphabet went up quite a bit. Look at the yellow one. So we bet somewhere around end of January, beginning of February, where we had 6 or 7%. It actually went up quite a bit towards 28% actually, but we didn't sell at that time. And now it has dropped back towards 2% as the other ones have gone down and NVIDIA has gone up. And obviously, the further we go into February, the more or the lower these chances are going to get. So overall, we lost nearly 400 once again this week. A bit of a sad story, but it is what it is. You win some, you lose one. Once again, everything we do here is no financial advice and don't try this at home. For next week, we are going to be betting at the Winter Olympics. So be sure to subscribe, like this video if you enjoy watching it. Stay tuned, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.